Hello guys, welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be doing a little bit of a different video today. I am going to be doing a proper Marvel movie slash TV show tier list. So let me turn the brightness up a little bit so you can see all these amazing things. So this is everything we're going to be doing today. All these things. So we've got the Spider-Man films, we've got, of course, the MCU, even like the new ones like Doctor Strange here, and No Way Home and everything like that. And we even have some of the like Miss Marvel and Thor: Love and Thunder, not even out yet, so I'm afraid I can't put them in there. But that's why we've got a never watched section. So this is what we're going to be ranking off of. So best of the best, amazing, good, the worst, never watched. Now this is quite a big video for me because I have been wanting to rank the MCU for so long now, and I'm so excited to do it. But not, we've also got, we don't have X-Men, but we've got the Netflix shows like Daredevil and everything like that. We've got loads in here, so I am incredibly excited to be doing this. So I've moved them all around so they're not like, so it's not like both of the Venom films are next to each other, or like both of the Guardians films or all the Avengers films, stuff like that. So it's all mixed up. So I'm mixing a few of them around just because I want it, I want it to all be good and be a fun experience. So yeah, so obviously before I start this video, I want to say I love every single one of these films, or even series. These all, most of them define my childhood, and I love basically every single one of these films. Even if they end up in the worst, doesn't mean I hate them. It means I'll still watch them, and even if they're never watched, I will definitely be viewing them very, very soon. So yeah, with all that said, let's get started with Ant-Man and the Wasp. Now this is just an easy film. It's going straight in the good because it's a nice, calm MCU film after Infinity War. Infinity War is so tragic, and it's just a nice, like, calm, fun film to watch. Sorry about that. Just take it off. Sorry. So yeah. I'm just trying to move all these around because they're all so close. This is very hard to show on a laptop. I've never filmed with my laptop before. So then we got Captain Marvel. I'm going to put it in the worst. It is very close to going in the good. But the thing is with this one is that it's hard to, nowadays with the MCU, just to put a new character in their own film right off the bat. It's very hard to do that. And unlike a lot of other people, I don't mind Brie Larson, but the thing is just they have not written the character right, and they couldn't even improve her in Endgame. So it's very hard when you have a very unlikable character in their own film. Although I did like, Samuel L. Jackson playing the young Nick Fury and everything. I really did enjoy that quite a bit. So yeah, now we've got the Winter Soldier. Now I really, really like the Winter Soldier. It's going in the amazing. This film is pretty dark. It's got its own mood of darkness, and it is pretty. It's just about friendship and trying to sort of remember what you were, and obviously Captain America doesn't want to fight his own friend. And I think that's really, really powerful. And I think this one is a very, very good film. It's very, very good MCU film. So now we've got Doctor Strange, probably the weirdest looking MCU film of them all. Now this is going in the good. This film it's a lot of CGI and a lot of effects and the mirror dimension and everything. It looks great in 4K. Absolutely crazy what goes on in this film. But really, really good. It's a fun film. But it just doesn't hold up with some elements. Next up, we've got Avengers Endgame. Best of the best. The build up, everything works. The emotion, everything built up for this one film is amazing. Everything about this is amazing. The build up, putting 10 years into this one square rectangle thing, and it's amazing. The build up, the 3 hour long runtime, it all works for me, and it pays off so well. and it breaks your heart, but you just love it so much. You can watch this film and be emotional even if you haven't watched any of these films, any of these down here. Next up, we have one of the newer MCU films, but one of the worst. This is maybe my least favorite MCU film. We will find out in this video. This film is just way too much CGI, and it's hard putting 10 new characters together, and it's more of like a getting the band back together film. I have mentioned this, and there's not much character development. There are some really annoying characters who you do not care about at all, and it is way too long as well, and this can get incredibly boring, this film. And it's very draggy, but yeah, it's okay. It's probably the worst out of them all. Guardians of the Galaxy, a very surprising film, and shows that any film can be successful. It's going in the best of the best. This film just takes a load of washed up old heroes, puts them together, puts a music loving guy, an assassin, a destroyer, a tree, and even a talking raccoon together, and somehow it works. Somehow it builds some sort of emotion, and it's so good. I love the soundtrack. The soundtrack is absolutely amazing. So next up we got Spider-Man Far From Home. This is gonna go in the amazing. I'm gonna put Winter Soldier behind this one. Now, I love this film because it picks up so well after Endgame. It's a bit like Ant-Man and the Wasp, just an easy, calm film. But I didn't like the whole glasses situation with the Edith glasses. I know that frustrates a lot of people, and I'm afraid I fall into that as well. It really does frustrate me, and it really does annoy me. The whole plot line with it, and it just does not work very well for me at all. So next up we got a series, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Now, this series isn't amazing. It was very disappointing. It's going in the good though, because I love the John Walker plotline, because you can tell the actor is doing a good job, because you hate him so much for trying to replace Steve Rogers. But I have binged this series. I keep saying film, and I've watched a little bit of it recently. Really good series, with John Walker and everything. But it's very American, but it's a good series, and it does a lot for Falcon and Bucky. Next up, we have Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Now, this is a very, very good film, actually. I'm going to put this probably here, just because it's a good film, but not the greatest film as an MCU film. This film does do a good job at introducing Shang-Chi. Maybe a little bit too much humour thrown in there. Sometimes ruins some of the emotion that you are getting in it. But still a good film. It's enjoyable. I can watch it. I don't hate it. But I really enjoyed this film when it first came out. And this is probably one of those films I've seen the least in the MCU. I will definitely be watching this again, probably in the next week or so. I will definitely watch this film again. Very, very good film. Now we have a very strange MCU film, and the only one done by Universal, not even really an MCU film, The Incredible Hulk. Now this is a good film, but not a good MCU film. So it's a good Hulk film, and I like Edward Norton as well. It's going in the good, the good is stacking up quite a lot, but it's okay, it's fine. It's not a great MCU film, but it's a good film about monsters punching each other and fighting and trying to kill each other and whatever. Very, very cool film, and I like to watch it. Next up, Miss Marvel. It's not out yet. It's out in a few weeks, so I cannot say I've watched it. But it's looking okay. It looks a little cringy, but I'll have to see. I've heard it's a good series. Next up, we have Iron Man 2. Now, Iron Man 2 is probably going to go here on the good. I'm going to put it here just because it's an okay film, but I think it has a lot of villain problems. I'm gonna put this here by the way. It has a lot of storyline problems and a lot of annoying things like that which get in the way of this film. And I feel like Iron Man is just not put front and center with this film, and he feels a bit weak because he literally gets his suit just taken away from him. But yeah, sorry, I was just drinking my drink right here. I probably will be doing that quite a lot. So this is what it's looking like so far. Now we have Spider-Man 3. Now this is not an MCU film. This is Tobey Maguire. And I really, really like this film. But another one that's going in the good because it is very cringy with this whole Bully Maguire thing and the dance he does and trying to get people to like him and everything. Very, very weird. But it's an okay film. It's fine. It's not terrible. Next up, we have Luke Cage. Again, have not seen this film. I haven't seen any of the Netflix or now Disney Plus shows. Would like to watch it though. Just haven't got around to watching it. Now we have this film, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Now I wish I could be doing this, but I'm afraid I'm not. I'm afraid I am one of them people who are incredibly disappointed in what this film had to offer. But I'm not going to hate on it. It's going to go here. Another one in the good because it's fine, it's okay, but it just disappoints on a lot of levels. Too much build up for what it had to offer, and really very disappointing and very upsetting to see how this turned out. Next up, we have Captain America Civil War. Now, this one is going to go in best of the best because this was one of the first MCU films I actually went to go see, and I really enjoyed this film. Although I do wish there was more action because this is one of them MCU films where it's just a lot of talking and a lot of focusing on the plot and everything. But this film is the reason all the characters lost in Infinity War. This film is the reason. This film is why Infinity War went so badly and why no one won and everyone lost. But the third act of this film is very, very emotional because it's not a villain and a hero fighting each other. It's three heroes fighting each other over emotion. And the airport battle, we've already had that battle. That's the big fight that you've been waiting for, this one. But this one, the final battle is very, very emotional, but it feels very, very iconic. It's got some iconic shots in it, which I know a lot of people will know. Next up, we have Ant-Man. Now, I really did enjoy this film when it first sort of got go. When it first sort of came out. It's going here. It's a good film. It's a little bit cheesy, but it's a good heist film for the MCU. And I was very, very connected to this film to start off with, and I'm still connected to it. But it's been outgrown a little bit by a lot of things. Next up, we have WandaVision. Now, I really like WandaVision, actually. I know some people who love it much more than I do, but I'm putting it here in the amazing because what's good about this one is that this first 6 episodes are so good about confusing you and very little information being learned, and then you learn in in the 5th and 6th episode that it's all about emotion and it's about family and it's all about Wanda. Really, it's more just Wanda's show, but yeah, it's really, really good. It's very emotional, has a lot to do with family, and I think it was it's very, very strange to start off with. I didn't really know what to think of it to start off with, but very, very good. One of the best MCU series, definitely. Next up, we have Avengers Infinity War. Now, Avengers Infinity War is going here. I prefer Infinity War to Endgame just because this film was amazing when it came out, because this was that big film where everyone was coming together and everyone was fighting this big bad villain known as Thanos, who was trying to get all the Infinity Stones to wipe out half the universe. And he does that, and then it picks up so well. Well, Endgame picks up so well after this one. But this one you actually get to see everyone, because you don't get to see much people in Endgame. It's only the main ones. But this one you get to see the Guardians, Spider-Man, and everyone. You know, Doctor Strange and everyone. Everyone's in this, and it's great. It's so fun. Next up, we have The Amazing Spider-Man, a film I am very, very connected to, and is going in the amazing spot. I know a lot of people don't like this film, but this film, I love Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, and I love this film so much because it's just such a good origin story, and it's such a good way of telling it, and it's, I don't know, I really like this Peter Parker, the Andrew Garfield Peter Parker, and I really, really like this one. Although I'm not keen on the Lizard as the villain, still really, really good film actually. And I probably watched this film a bit too much, to be fair. Next up we have Defenders. Not seen Defenders. I don't really know too much about it. I think it's sort of like the Avengers sort of thing, a bit like, you know, it's like Daredevil, and I think like Jessica Jones, and I'm not sure who else, like coming together. Maybe Luke Cage. I think Luke Cage is on that poster. Don't know too much about it. Now we have Iron Man 3. Now, again, a film that I'm pretty connected to. It's going in the good for, you know, being enjoyable and everything. But it's okay. It's not amazing. But yeah, it's a fun film, but not too much to offer really. But I enjoy watching it, and I find it really fun to watch. So yeah. Now we're moving on to the Avengers. Now I rewatched this film so recently, and this is such a good comic book adaptation of a film, because it's great. It's just the third act is literally just fan service. It's literally these, you know, it's a big city battle. It's in the daytime. A character trying to take over, and it's great because it's put in about 4 years just into one. It's, you know, no one knew at the beginning how big it was going to become, and this film is, I think, very underrated. I know it's got a lot of praise, and I think it won like an award or something. Very, very good, honestly. Very, very good. Now we have the amazing, not the amazing Spider-Man 2. Now this is again an amazing film. Very connected to it. It's going here because I love Doc Ock as the villain. Probably my favourite villain of all time, really. Alfred Molina, great. And I think, although you don't get to see much Spider-Man, you get to see a lot of Peter Parker and his life, and how much of a comic book sort of film this is. And I really, really enjoy it, honestly. I think it's a really good film. Probably also better than the first one as well. Sorry about that. Again, a lot of things coming up in here. Now we have Hawkeye. Hawkeye, such a pleasant series, honestly. Honestly, it's going here, I'd say. Let me think about this, actually. It's going here. So this Hawkeye is probably never going to get his own film, but I think this Christmassy themed series is really, really good. Really, really fun. Very light-hearted. And obviously it introduces Wilson Fisk into the MCU. Although I don't know where they're going with that storyline. I'm assuming he's coming back. But yeah, very, very good. Very fun, silly. But yeah, really good. Really good and fun film to watch, you know. Crazy, really. Next up, we have Iron Man. Iron Man is incredibly underrated, in my opinion. It's very, very good film, and it's aged very, very well. And I think without having the whole MCU, you know, the weight on its shoulders, I think this film is a really good film trying to just tell a story about Iron Man. And this film sort of saves Robert Downey Jr.'s career. I don't really know where Robert Downey Jr. would be if he had not been hired for this film by Jon Favreau. But yeah, they weren't. I'm not sure really if they were planning something this big. But without having the weight of the MCU on its shoulders, it can tell a really fun story. Now we've got Thor: Love and Thunder. I am very, very excited for this film, but it's not out yet. It's not out for another like 2 months, so I can't say anything. A new trailer released for it the other day. Looks fun. Looks a bit silly. But yeah, very excited to watch. Next up, we have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Now, this one is going here. Now, this film is it's very different to the first one, but it does a lot for the characters. I know splitting the Guardians up was maybe not a good idea, but I think the humor is top notch, and probably like this film's got very dark humor in it at times. Whenever they play this on TV, they're always deleting scenes out. It's quite funny, but yeah, quite mature. But obviously, it's got like those three very cute group scenes with him dancing, the whole thing with him trying to get Yondu's head thing, and the bomb situation. Very, very cool and stunning to look at. Even the poster, look at that, it stands out so much. Next up, we have Daredevil. Now, may not have seen this, but I know an awful lot about the character. Charlie Cox playing him, but seems to make an appearance in another one of these films, which is very, very pleasant to see. Very, very happy to see that. But yeah. Next up, we have Venom. Now, this is a very strange film, really, because I really enjoy this film. I'm actually gonna put it in the amazing because it's an alien film. I like alien films. I think they're cool, and it's it's very serious. It's not. It should be less serious, in my opinion, but very good film. Honestly, I think it's got a lot to offer, and a fun film to watch. It's fine. It's a good film. Next up, we have Punisher. Have not seen Punisher. I know it's incredibly violent. I mean, most of these are, but yeah, have not seen Punisher yet. Iron Fist again falls into the same category. I just haven't seen it. Haven't got around to watching it. Now we have one of the latest MCU projects and the latest series, and I'm happy to say that Moon Knight is probably one of the best MCU series we have. Now, I think the middle, like the third episode, is nowhere near as good as the fifth and sixth. The fifth and sixth are my favourite ones. The fifth one's definitely my favourite because it feels very realistic. It's very emotional. And I really like Oscar Isaac in this role, playing these two completely different but confused characters. One who is like a professional at fighting and everything. The other who's just a confused guy who we all can relate to because literally would be the exact same as us in that situation, throwing cupcakes at people and someone's trying to attack you, or just freaked out by what's going on. So really, really good, and I would like to see Moon Knight with some of these other characters. Maybe could have done a little bit more in the last episode though. Yeah. Now we have Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Now this one's going to go in here because I've watched this film quite a lot recently. It's a fine hour and a half long film about monsters biting each other's heads off. Woody Harrelson is great as Carnage, and obviously Tom Hardy is top notch as Venom. This one is a lot more silly and light-hearted. It takes what was good about the first one and just puts it in this one. And it got number 4 on my best films of last year, of 2021. So it's a good film, and it's connecting well. So yeah, she didn't want them to kill off Carnage. I think that was a bad move to kill off Carnage. But I don't really think we should expect to see him back. Now we have one of the biggest, highest grossing MCU films of all time. And yeah, this film deserves to be like here for me because Black Panther is so amazing. Its effects are amazing. Its story is amazing. And of course, Chadwick Boseman is absolutely amazing. And obviously, this film honours him very, very well. And this is probably his best film. And this film would not stop like getting money like when it first came out. I think it's one of the highest grossing films of all time. So yeah. So now we have Jessica Jones. Again, have not seen it. I think that's all for the series I haven't actually seen. Yeah, that is it. Now we have Black Widow, another one of the recent ones. Where should I put this one? Where should I put Black Widow? Um, Black Widow's a very good film, so I'm probably going to go here. I like David Harbour and I like Florence Pugh as Red Guardian and Yelena. I think they're really, really good. Obviously, Scarlett Johansson's top notch with this one. Although this film did come out a little bit late, and it's a bit annoying that it came out this late. But yeah, it's fine. It's a good film. Quite rewatchable. Humor is very, very good in this film, and I think put in at the right times. The MCU is pretty guilty of not doing that. So yeah, now we have Spider-Man: Homecoming. Now this is going here. Now this was my favorite MCU film for quite a while. I really loved this film when I first saw it because it was very relatable. Because Spider-Man is one of the most relatable characters who's just a teenager, and Tom Holland is so likable in this role. Very, very good. I like Michael Keaton in it. Obviously, I like Robert Downey Jr. as well. I like everyone in it. Really, really fun film. But I could talk forever about the film, but I've seen the film a lot, so I've got a lot of experience with it. So yeah, now we have Thor. Now I rewatched Thor not too long ago. Just doesn't. I don't know. There's just something about this one that I just don't really like too much. It's okay, but it's just pretty. It's just pretty. I don't know. It's just pretty predictable, and it's a bit of a fish out of water film. This film has got the weird version of Thor where he's just so serious, and Thor's got all his like really boring friends in it that like no one cares about. I feel, but yeah, it doesn't do much character development, and yeah, there's not really a character in it I really like in that film. But obviously I really like them now. Now we have What If. Now What If is gonna go here. No, it's gonna go here. Now What If I think is overrated because I think the acting is incredibly cringy in this film. Very, very cringy and very annoying at times because it's got an all-star cast, and I can't believe the acting in this at times. The Zombies episode was my favourite. I also like the Doctor Strange one. I like the Captain Carter one as well, and this was Chadwick Boseman's last MCU project. So yeah, but just acting's not top notch, and they couldn't get the whole cast back because they couldn't afford it because it's obviously animated. Then we have Captain America: The First Avenger. Now this is a frustrating one for me because I really like the whole coming of age story for Captain America. It's going in amazing though. I like the origin story, the first bit, but then it just falls apart a little bit when he is Captain America. I like the war sort of thing though, the war genre. Really, really fun to watch. I enjoy it very much. So we're going to speed up a little bit because this is a very long video. Spider-Man: No Way Home. I have to say, my favourite film of all time. Spider-Man: No Way Home is a love letter to Spider-Man and Marvel fans. And what a great Christmas present for this to come out at Christmas. This film is very, very emotional on every level, but just it manages to put these characters who you've wanted to see back for so long in here and make it make sense, and they put it into the story, and it's really, really good. I could harp on for so long about this film, but we don't have time. So now we have Thor: The Dark World. Now Thor: The Dark World isn't the worst MCU film, nor is it great. It's got a rubbish villain, doesn't do too much for the MCU. It's just a lot of fighting things. There's not too much good stuff in there really. Now we have Sam Raimi's first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man film. Now this one is going, I'd say here. Oh, hang on. Where are we going? No, hang on. Why do you not want to work? Come on, you stupid thing. Whoops. Sorry, I cannot work this thing. Right, here we go. So yeah, it's a good film. It's a good origin story. It's a lot more nostalgic for people who were born in that time. But I really do enjoy this film. Very good origin story and very, very fun. And it started Tobey Maguire's career. Now we have Thor Ragnarok. Honestly, I don't care. Thor Ragnarok is amazing. It is my go-to MCU film to watch when I'm up for a bit of fun, a bit of action. Incredibly funny. Obviously, you got Hulk in there, Loki, everyone in there. Incredibly fun and incredibly amazing film. Now we have The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Now, I'm going to put this in the good here because I like the whole, Electro and everything, all the slow-mo shots and everything. Just doesn't live up to the first one, but still really good film. I know a lot of people hate it. Honestly, I don't hate it. I think it's really good. Now we have Loki. Loki is probably the best MCU series in my opinion. It's going here. Probably it's not very rewatchable, but it's very, very fun. And again, a bit of a mystery sort of genre. Very fun. And I am so happy that Loki is put front and centre with Owen Wilson, Morbius, and obviously got Tom Hiddleston in there as well. And for the final one, Avengers Age of Ultron. Going here. It's a fun action film. Doesn't live up to the first one, but it's cool. It's, a load of characters fighting and everything. Very, very cool, and I like that. And obviously it is, but the film is just people messing with technology and going too far with it. But yeah, that is the final list, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. And let me know what other tier lists you want me to do. This is a very long video. Thank you so much for watching. And please do comment, like, and subscribe. Let me know what other videos you want me to do. Jurassic World and Thor Love and Thunder review coming out soon. And a Moon Knight review coming out soon. I know it's late, but yeah. Thanks so much for watching, guys. And we'll see you guys in the next video. And let me know your favourite and least favourite and whatever films here. So yeah, that's all for this video, guys. Please do comment, like, and subscribe. See you guys in the next video. Ciao.